I started attending the conference as far back as 2002. The following year, we went to Egypt. Then 2004, that is Abuja, Nigeria, for the first time. And that was when WAPIC started.
Welcome to WAPIC, 13th edition of the West African Power Industry Convention.
I think we're doing way better than last year. Total number of people in here today is about 1,500 people. And this is exactly where we were last year at this time.
I'm very, very happy with the turnout of people.
So we still have a full day tomorrow to have more people come to the show. And we're excited that, more registrations are going to be coming in.
My company, we run this event in Lagos for West Africa. We have a sister event in Nairobi for East Africa, and we run the annual African Utility Week in Cape Town every May. And that's a gathering of the whole of the sub-Saharan African continent to discuss and debate and look for forward-thinking solutions for Africa's power challenges. Part of what's important when we do these events is the networking opportunity. So I'm going to ask you now just to take 1 minute and look at the people next to you and those around you. And now, if you're carrying business cards like I do in my pocket, could you take out your business cards? I'm sure there's some people around you who you don't actually know or you've not met before. So please just take the time just to turn around, shake some hands and introduce yourself and give some business cards out.
My name is Raid Al-Hassani. I'm the managing director for Sweden Electric Nigeria Limited. It's an Egyptian company and it's spread in 14 countries in Middle East and Africa with 30 production facilities. And we export to more than 110 countries worldwide. And one of the 14 countries is Nigeria.
My name is Julian Ngomalo. I represent a company called Syntel. I'm the Business Development Manager for Sub-Saharan Africa. And our company specializes in prepaid systems for water, gas, as well as electricity.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Egpo, former Commissioner of NERC, as Chairman of the keynote opening session. Mr. Egpo, please.
Our opening keynote, as you saw, was absolutely packed, and it was a fantastic event. We've had phenomenal people attending, and all of them have been saying interesting things, and it engaged the audience very, very well.
I do not think the challenge we have today is the challenge of the turbines. We all know if we need good turbines, we know where to get them from. And I do not think that this is the first time an emerging economy is trying to develop power sector. So I don't think those are the issues.
I've therefore decided to talk briefly on a topic which I titled Increasing Gas Supply for Improved Power Generation in Nigeria. I believe by extension, the key issues as I raised apply to West African sub-region as well.
For West Africa itself, I think there's now an understanding that we need to begin to try and integrate the region in terms of power.
If you want to grow an economy, the best way to grow it is to make energy available.
So I'm suggesting that instead of focusing on poor energy reliability, we need to start thinking about, as the other speakers have said, how we're going to have a generation capacity that exceeds peak demand, as a developed market will, and how we're going to get from here to there.
Our telecom network equipment, IT products and solutions, and smart devices are widely deployed in more than 170 countries. The past 20 years have seen the dawn of digital society, which are driven by the ever-increasing users, applications, traffics, and the broadband. The next 20 years will see deep integration of the digital and physical worlds. Such integration is becoming a new historical revolution after the previous three revolutions, namely mechanization, electrification, and automation. Innovative ICT technologies, such as Internet of Things, known IoT, and big data, are increasingly applied to industrial process. This phenomenon is ushering in a new industry revolution in intelligent technology.
And exhibitions have been very successful, bring opportunity together with the means to exploit those opportunities, introduce players from outside the country to the Nigerian market, like you've seen with the South African stand. South Africa has had a very big presence this year, which is a good thing.
The key thing that one has to note is that South Africa is the largest contingent of companies from a single country. Being African, we understand solutions for Africa. Whereas we will produce technologies that are world-class and up to an international standard, those solutions will function and work for Africa because we understand the African environment.
The other side of it, which is the educational and the opportunities to learn and expand knowledge in the industry, the sessions that we have also been very useful. If nothing else, they have served to explain to people how the Nigerian market and by extension also the West African market has evolved.
Without fixing the short-term problem we have now, the medium or long-term solution is not going to work.
There's a certain number of customers. I'll give my example from Enugu. I have 700,000 customers on my books that get a bill every month. Some metered, some not metered. But there are 23 million people in my service territory. So we know there's more than 700,000 customers if there's 23 million people. There has to be at least double that number of customers.
The Nigerian financial sector is not positioned to finance in power. You cannot be in the power business and borrow money in double digits.
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding that is going on, particularly when people are talking about gas supply, comparing gas supply in Nigeria to gas supply in Japan.
Yes, you have everything within the power value chain in terms of resources. Geothermal, sun, everything is there. But you need to see how integratable those are into your existing gas utilization and from there within the policy. That means somebody is not thinking.
The bottom line really is that we should have a general conversation around the question of policy. You know, we have more people who have a vested interest now in the sector, apart from citizens themselves. You know, our citizenry in the country is more articulate. We know the issues a little bit more. I mean, we still need to be educated on quite a few things, but people are more conscious.
This is the second annual Power Industry Awards for West Africa, and I'm really pleased to see that it's growing. We've had more nominations this year from across West Africa, and I hope to see that the winners are actually West African based, and that it's a successful evening for everybody involved.
I would like to tell you a little about the judging process for the awards. Each judge was given 2 categories to judge within their area of expertise, and if any of their companies or colleagues fell within those categories, they did not score on third entry. Each category required the nominees to excel in certain criteria, which the judges used to arrive at their decision and ultimately determine the finalist and winner.
Definitely next year we're going bigger and better. We're the #1 event organizers for the power sector in Africa. That we've spent 20 years building relationships with stakeholders in Africa, and they know us, they trust us. We've been able to build that trust for years.
I'd just like to say thank you very much to my project team for all the hard work and effort that's gone into producing WAPIC this year. This is a 365-day-a-year project for the team. They work incredibly hard under sometimes some quite challenging circumstances.
I love this event. I think it's going to be I think it's just been growing from strength to strength, and even though we got only a small part of the hall to go for next year, I think we're going to fill it, and let's see if we can pack it to the max and fill every nook and cranny in this place.